Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Wrath of the Righteous with me, Bring It Dawn. Let's storm the Ivory Sanctum.
Cover me, right? Stab your
Be gone, fiend!
Distract them for me. Time to shoot.
Did you see that? Your performance is lacking. You are lacking. Still fight.
Go.
My will is resolute.
Alright, so he should have fast healing. Yeah, we'll just let him heal up that way.
Something over there.
This is my kind of work.
Wall inlaid with a whimsical mosaic of bones from humans, animals, and some unknown creatures.
I'm gone.
The inheritors guide my blade!
Gone.
Strike!
Cover me, all right?
I will bring down the divine wrath.
Call me again if you need to.
A chaotic conglomeration of confessions from the Baphomet cultists. I murdered a Crusade officer, assumed his appearance, and served in a Crusade army for 10 years. I infiltrated the Inquisitor squad of Canabris and selected the cultists that were to be burnt at the stake for half a year. Nobody knows how much of this is true.
We do it my way.
Damn! It's just not my lucky day.
This bas relief depicts demons, accompanied by mysterious inscriptions in the language of the Abyss.
This was simple enough.
The long and glorious history of the Ivory Sanctum is described on this tablet. The Sanctum was built at the time of the Second Crusade, and has served as a stronghold of Baphomet's unstoppable forces ever since.
This was simple enough.
A chaotic conglomeration of confessions from the Baphomet cultists. I used to be a paladin of the Eagle Watch, but then I succumbed to the temptation, murdered 2 of my friends, and came here. I cooked for a Crusade army for 5 years, poisoning at least 100 soldiers. Nobody knows how much of this is true.
It's time to act!
A familiar narrow shadow appears before you. The antennae on the creature's head quiver, its hands linked tightly together. You've arrived, Commander, comes a high-pitched voice in your head. You did me a grave insult at our last meeting, but I still want to speak with you. You've discovered my castle in the clouds, although it is a far cry from what it once was. Jerribeth's voice buzzes with irritation. I have something you need, information and assistance. You can help me in return. Let's talk. As a gesture of my goodwill, I wouldn't allow your companions to hear our conversation. See, I'm eminently reasonable. I don't like this response. You're boring me, demon? I should say, I don't make deals with demons, I don't talk to demons, something like that. What are you proposing? This place, the Ivory Sanctum, used to be my own personal domain, but in recent times I've been forced to share it with a horde of allies. There's one among them who will likely interest you. Xanthir the Plagued One. Jerribeth's voice chitters with emotion. It drops to a heated whisper. A swarm that walks. Mesmerizing creation. Who could have imagined that a mortal could be turned into something so extraordinary? He is behind many of the calamities that have befallen you. It is from his hands that myself and other demons have received our new abilities. Kill him, and the lords will struggle to find his equal for a long time. I won't simply stand aside. I'll help you as well. I'll tell you what I know, and ensure that my servants do not attack you here in the Sanctum. We came into your house ready to fight, and instead of fighting back, you're ready to give up your own side for us to kill. Even Wendawag could learn something from you. You betray your own kind. Why? Because I am a demon. You detected amusement in Jerribeth's voice. Rules, laws, loyalty? Seek them in hell and heaven, anywhere but the abyss. I served Lord Baphomet for as long as it benefited me more than it cost me. I was the mistress here, in my castle in the clouds. The entire territory was under my control, but the Monago, that arrogant fool, botched the attack on Canabras and the Wardstones. Our laboratory in Dresden was under threat, and Xanthir and his minions were quickly pulled out of the city. They offered up the Sanctum for his use, and made him the ultimate authority here, over me. I was forced out of my private quarters, made to live on the margins within my own home, as a horde of demons from Discari's armies were herded in. With Xanthir playing commander, and his servants ruining all of my endeavors, there's nothing for me to do here. This place can fall for all I care. I'll find a new patron in the abyss. That's why I'm telling you. Kill our common enemy. I will help you do it. Xanthir used to live in Dresden. Yes, close to Monago. Where did you think she got that pet Nabasu of hers? That's referencing the boss fight at the Lost Chapel. Where can I find Xanthir? He's very close, in my former private quarters. There's only a wall separating us, but his lair is well protected. You cannot access it from here. You have to make your way through the entire Sanctum, crossing the bridge and the main guard post, which is headed by the cultist Zenidra. Coming back will be easier. There's a secret passage from Xanthir's lair into my rooms that can only be opened from the other side. Hang on a minute. Why does Xanthir have a passageway into your chambers that only he can open? Actually, don't answer that. I already got the picture. Now I just need to find somebody who can wipe it from my memory so I can sleep tonight. You seem to have a low opinion of Discari servants. I served Discari myself once, but I changed masters because life among the Descarites was just unbearably boring. Unlike followers of Baphomet, Discari's minions have no appreciation for the finer pleasures. All they know is killing and ravaging. You saw one of them, Darazand, in the battle for Dresden. He is a vivid embodiment of everything I despise about my former comrades. Primitive and predictable butchers. A lot of them. What information are you willing to share with me? The information that you undoubtedly want more than anything. How the demons have started acquiring the new monstrous powers. It didn't start with Xanthir, and it won't end with him. But I will tell you what I know, only if you fulfill your part of the deal. I'm not about to make a deal with a demon. Die. What a pity. It seems I wasted my time on you. Oh no. I won't surrender to you just like that. Try and find me.
Follow if you dare.
Might be trap, might be treasure.
No glory without risk.
Yet another obstacle.
Stab you or zap you? Why not both?
Into the fray. The inheritor.
Is this a
Guide
mock
my
fight?
Strike them for me.
Eternal road. I call upon you.
Pretty good, aren't I?
Specimen 367, Finian Dismar, Test Report 2. Master, the second stage of the testing process was a success. Specimen 367, Finian Dismar, turned into a dagger on command. The blade is of flawless quality. It controls the depth to which it plunges into the victim's flesh, adjusting the strike. The Crusader provided for the experiment was dissected alive with no damage to internal organs within 15 seconds. The incisions are clean and smooth. The blade is undamaged. Additional notes. The specimen still makes unwanted noises. Please such as stop and don't do this can be discerned. The application of acid works as a temporary solution.
You can handle them, right? My tail is twitching. Must be a sign.
I'm off.
I found something.
This is my kind of work.
Mysterious note. The layman and the wise men perceive different things in the same symbols. Seek out precious knowledge where others blindly pass it by. Rechange places with 4. Turn the star to nothing. Behold a star in the darkness, but a different one. That's tied to a puzzle we have to do later.
Did we find trouble? No. See that?
No glory without risk!
You should have run! This will hurt! Fall!
Elven notes for the storyteller. Actually, I think I had more Elven notes to give the storyteller. We read the next part of his story. I checked to see if we had more notes or not. I'm pretty sure we already have this as well. Yeah, so don't need to read that a second time.
Together we stand.
And both my paladins were fatigued, but no longer.
I do what I must.
This is my kind of work.
Alright, there's one of the
There's
puzzles.
something here.
We don't have the clues for that one yet, and I don't have it memorized, so we'll, That might be this one. A coded note. Crumpled soiled sheet of paper that has lain in the pocket of some forgetful cultist for a long time. Several shapes are drawn on the page. A triangle, an upside-down 5-pointed star, squares and circles. I don't think this tells us the order, though. So I won't try it yet. I think this door is locked until we solve it.
We do it my way.
or we come back through here later. I think this wall opens up and maybe this one? Yeah, you can see the square there. I don't see one there, but
Follow.
either way, we'll come back to that. Maybe save those puzzles for last. Alright, so we explored this side. We could go further into the dungeon. Or this way.
I'm off.
I will bring down the divine wrath.
Over there.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
The light. Take you. The inheritor. Guide my blade.
I don't know if we've read this one. I wish they had markers somewhere on these so you know which ones you read already. Ever since the Third Crusade, our Templar brothers, but the true names remain veiled by the dark of always. I can say this word and I'm not looking at it. Anonymity. There we go. I try to add an extra syllable to it. So anonymity. There we go. Got it. Have served as example to other followers of Lord Baphomet through their impeccable service. I read of their greatest accomplishments, neophyte, be awed and be inspired. In the year 4664, the dawn of our service in the World Wound, our brothers began to infiltrate the ranks of those called to serve Mendev and the rest of the mortal world. Crusaders paid no regard to whom they were recruiting, and soon the Templars found the perfect material for their work. One night, two orders that shared a Mendevian outpost suddenly discovered irrefutable evidence that both parties had been hobnobbing with the demons in hopes of saving their hides just before an upcoming surprise attack. The consequences were immediate, and by morning, the army had turned into squabbling packs that completely shed the veneer of noble ideals in their fight for righteousness. In the year 4665, with the onset of the Third Crusade, a saint appeared in the ranks of Iomede's church, a pure and brave maiden who inspired new warriors. Unsurprisingly, among her admirers was a hot-blooded young man whose adoration went beyond the bounds of virtue. Leading a selfless heart to sin was no easy task, but the Templar had taken lessons from Lucian Iris Incubi for a reason. Our brother unleashed in the maiden the overwhelming depths of passion and sin, but as soon as the church caught wind of the orgies that were taking place in the heart of the new order, bonfires flared up, not just for Iomede's ward, but for her followers too, including the brave Templar who revealed his true face to her on the eve of the execution. In the year 4667, a famed inquisitor, who was particularly enthusiastic about roasting peasants at the stake, suddenly grew despondent, and for good reason. His closest friend opened his eyes to the rampant demon worship right under His Holiness's nose, and the ranks of the Inquisition itself. This butcher had his work cut out for him, and in his great purge, he hanged and stabbed whomever his friend pointed at. Alas, all good things must come to an end, and soon the poor Inquisitor was apprehended and sent to the capital to stand trial. Before his execution, he made futile attempts to call his trusted friend as a witness, yet the friend had gone missing, or maybe had never existed at all. The Templars know how to cover their tracks.
Pretty good, aren't I?
Okay, a new recipe. Cream soup with a snout.
I do what I must.
Did we step
Time
on
to
their
share your
toes as
treasures!
well?
What's that there?
You right can't hide from me.
I've read that already. Headquarters maps, scouting reports, mission plans. The officers will be very keen to take a look at these documents.
This is my kind of work.
Fortune's Temper. Whenever the wielder of this +3 Holy Star Knife confirms a critical hit with it, other allies in a 40-foot area are affected with the effect of the prayer spell for 6 rounds.
I'm gone.
We've seen this one as well. I'm fairly certain.
We do it my way.
Out of my way. A cultist wearing a Descarite robe clenches his fists and glares at the servants of Baphomet blocking his path. The enemy is at the gates. You must release the specimens. That is a direct order from Xanthir the Plagued One. Hear that? A woman in armor decorated with an ox head emblem laughs disdainfully. Her fellow believers echo her mocking laughter. Xanthir the Plagued One gave us an order. A direct order. He said that to you, did he? You open it then. Go on, I won't stop you. Open the cage, and we'll stand back and watch that beast bite your locust-filled head off. Now's not the time for your petty grievances. I made myself clear the first time. We've been invaded. The enemies are inside the Ivory Sanctum. They'll be here at any moment. Or any moment, not at any. The enemies have been here for a long time already, the Templar barks, and the cultist steps back in surprise. You came into our Ivory Sanctum, setting yourselves up as the masters, sullying the place with your experiments. You know what this room used to be? A hall of converts, a monument to our greatest victories. The portraits of former enemies who switched to Lord Baphomet's side used to hang here. We kept their armor and the corrupted symbols of their pitiful godlings. Xanthir the Syphilitic One ordered it all to be put into storage, and built a zoo in its place. There'll be no sanctum left with the Crusaders. Stop. The frightened cultist points at you, and the eyes of everyone present are turned in your direction. Who goes there? I don't think I've seen you here before. What are those wretched creatures in the cages? The latest pet project of Xanthir the Poxed One and his cack-handed students. They haven't worked out how to transform demons properly yet. Half of them end up as these freaks. And we're not even allowed to kill them. The locust in the cloak said to keep them in cages, so he can use them in his idiotic experiments. The only idiots here are you, the pathetic lapdogs of that airhead schemer you call a mistress. These experiments are necessary for understanding the entire process, for creating a perfect demon of the future. Without them... Hey, hold on. Why would we tell you all this? Who are you anyway? You're not a crusader, are you? Demon minions. I will destroy you. Instantly forgetting their squabble, the Discari and Baphomet cultists close ranks. One after another, they rush toward the door of the cage. If you bluff, you can fight both sides, and then you can pick out the demons in the cage separately.
Into the
Don't
fray!
hold back!
The light! Take you!
Be gone, fiend!
Cover me, all right?
The inheritor! Grasp my blade!
Endure.
There's some mercy for the living! Into the fray!
Make every strike count. You are lacking.
It's a little annoying when the mythic enemies regenerate, because my party can still attack them once their health fills back up at a certain point, but I still can't target them with a cursor. If we're fighting multiple mythic enemies, I can't tell them which one to prioritize until they've... after so long after they've recovered their health. A cage key. The key is covered with scratches and what seems to be teeth marks. And same thing there. Alright. So if you bluff there, you can take out the cultists, and then you can open these cages whenever you feel like it, and take out the demons inside. Makes the fight a little easier. By a little, I mean quite a bit easier, actually.
Follow if you dare.
Not that it's a hard fight. The only reason we took damage is because I threw Olbrich into the back line before the demons had a priority target.
Interesting.
So they made Olbrich the priority target.
I'm off.
Something wrong. This is my kind of work.
Teacher, it's the Crusaders. They're already here. The commander himself is with them. Don't be such a coward. These pathetic knuckle-draggers are powerless before the might of the great Xanthir the Plagued One. Figure in the robe turns towards the cultist, who automatically takes a step back, bringing a hand to his mouth. There's no human face beneath the gray hood, just a swarm of shifting locusts. Did I not say that I would do what I would do to the next half-wit who dared call me by that ignominious moniker? Xanthir shakes one of his sleeves. A small swarm of locusts emerges from within it and envelops the cultist's head. Shrieking, he tries to get them off. They've already burrowed their way inside, turning his face into one gaping wound. The unlucky cultist continues screaming desperately for a few seconds, and then his body explodes into pieces as a locust bursts out from within. You, come here. We still have time to complete the transformation. He beckons a demon over, and it scrambles eagerly toward the threatening-looking machines. Xanthir turns to his surviving students. And all of you, do as I've taught you. Try just this once, to follow my instructions to the letter. And if anyone drops another Nahindran crystal, he'll only have himself to blame for his horrific fate. Alright, break the locust magic. You quickly realize that the wall of locusts is not magic in itself. You cannot break it as you would a spell. I disperse a cloud of locusts with your weapon. With deft movements, you scatter the buzzing insects into the air, creating a gap in the wall that you can pass through into the chamber. The demon summoned to the machine howls in pain. Pay no attention to you. Xanthir Vang places crystals in the demon's body. You sense, rather than see the demon change into something different. Something more frightening than before. You look closer. You realize that you have seen this type of crystal before. The magic chisel you found in Canabris is made from the same material. Xanthir Vang looks at his students, who are only just starting to carry out the procedure on their own demons. Cease your rummaging, dolts. Consider your lesson ended. You're working too slowly. Unchain these beasts and defend the chamber. Fight until the last.
Hey! Break against our resolve.
I do have swarms to contend with. Not looking forward to that.
You've crossed the wrong model.
Try to clear out some of the riffraff on the back while we struggle through these swarms. Oh, we're doing pretty good, actually. Yeah, not too shabby.
The Inheritor, guide my blade!
I do what I must.
Demon blood. Hi, Xanthir Fang on the nature of demons. The grubby, thumb-through pages are covered in cramped writing. The narrow margins, the scraps of parchment stuffed between the pages, and even the spaces between the lines of text are crammed with annotations scrawled in pencil. Supposition that demons are by their very nature superior to mortals has acquired such lasting popularity that many now consider the matter of using primitive creatures of the material plane entirely settled. Note below the paragraph. Genius. You may call to mind the fact that mortal souls are one of the elements which, in the totality, brought demons into being. Receptacles for souls are thus of not insignificant interest. Note in the margin. Xanthir the Plagued One is questioning the foundational tenets of demonology. By conducting a basic experiment on the live transfusion of essence of sin and the creation of strengthening charms, we can observe the transformation of material into saturated mucus typical of. The text here has been underlined several times. Among the smudge pencil marks that obscure the text almost entirely, one annotation is visible. Must try this. Negative experiences that are excruciating for the subject are reliable marker controlled studies. Advanced preparation makes it possible to enhance the emissions. Skinning the subject while preserving the nerve endings, removing ligaments, or performing a specialized form of lobotomy. The page is torn, but the words, "Get slaves," can be read along its edge. Demonstrating fragments of awareness locked in an endless cycle of torture. This is the most valuable specimen for future application in the form of. The rest of the paragraph is painstakingly blacked out with ink. A message has been left in the margin. If this is on, and you're reading the textbook you filched from me, suck it, you little weasel. Without Xanthir the Plagued One's ritual, you're nothing. You're back to cleaning the latrines before the Plagued One chops you up to use in his experiments. And reading that, we learned something new. This book grants a +1 caster level on spells from Enchantment School. Just wasted on my main character, but be great on Ember. Shame you can't have your companions read those books instead. Or they don't all gain that bonus. A chipped key from the Ivory Sanctum. Despite being riddled with cracks and rust deposits, this key's durability means it is still functional. And we also got a bloodstain coated note. Crumpled blood-soaked sheet of paper, on which it is just possible to make out the words Chamber, Lord. Before there were 4 symbols, only the first 2 could still be seen. A 6-pointed star and a triangle. A complex device combining technology and magic. The leather straps used to restrain victims look worn from frequent use.
Rely on me.
I'm gone.
Can't hide from me.
Pretty good, aren't I?
Alright, we got Ravager of Dread. This ring grants the wearer a +4 morale bonus against confusion and fear effects. If the wearer fails a saving throw against such effect, after the effect ends, the wearer gets a +2 bonus on saving throws and +2 bonus on damage rolls until the end of combat. It's not a terrible ring. He doesn't really need deflection since he's not... He shouldn't be tanking. Sunshine should be tanking for him. Alright, I'm going to call it here, and next time we'll continue exploring the labyrinth. We haven't found any of those ghost minotaurs yet, have we? I know they're at the end of hallways. Thought that was one, but I guess not. Maybe it's over here?
Weapons, spells, poisons.
There's altars and then
art
the
of
hallways you
killing
can
is so
activate.
diverse these days.
They kind of look like toilets. It's not a super important detail, but I think it's pretty funny. Alright, it's not one there. Just wanted to make sure. Find one over here. A lot of our buffs are wearing off. Let's go ahead and drop just so we don't have to rest and buff up again. Let's do this. This. Some of our resource spells and
I'm always ready.
I will help where I
that
can.
and that.
Are we in trouble yet?
Alright, that should get us through a bit more of the dungeon. But either way for now, thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys in the next one.